Now at 10, we look at an old Joplin cemetery and its history in recognition of Cemetery Preservation Month. Plus, Katy Days kicks off in Parsons, Kansas. We're going to check out the festivities. And the Columbus Titans look to claim their spot in the state 3A baseball tournament.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin police say security video shows someone setting fire to a home in the Byers and Murphy neighborhood this morning. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Fire crews were dispatched just before 3 a.m. to 1101 South Jackson in Joplin. Found the single-story house fully engulfed in flames, brought under control by about 3:10. No one was found inside, but firefighters did rescue a kitten. Investigators found the fire is suspicious and now have video that apparently shows a man lighting that fire. This is Cemetery Preservation Month. Every May is a chance to bring awareness to the importance of preserving and cleaning cemeteries. One cemetery in Joplin is named after the city's founder, John C. Cox. KOAM's Carrie Worthen caught up with volunteers cleaning up that cemetery.
We've got many cemeteries that are abandoned or unkept, and it's really up to us, the citizens, to take care of the cemeteries that are left.
John C. Cox was the founder of Joplin and is buried in the now named John C. Cox Cemetery. The cemetery was open until 1938 with many other community members buried there.
The people who are buried here are our history. Their legacies built this town, and that's the case throughout the county.
Every month of May is Cemetery Preservation Month, and it is to bring awareness to the community members about the importance of preserving and cleaning cemeteries.
It takes a lot of money to keep them up in terms of repairing these stones, placing them back upright, a lot of volunteer work and mowing and maintenance, but then also people being able to tell the stories of the people that are buried in the cemetery. That's really what preserving the legacy of those people is about.
Volunteers are the only ones who help maintain the John C. Cox Cemetery, from mowing, weed eating, to cutting limbs and cleaning stones.
Doing the work here, it's really honorable work. You know, we honor the legacy of the people who founded our town, the Civil War veterans, the miners, the families that are buried here.
In Joplin, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
If you're interested in volunteering at any of the Jasper County cemeteries, you can go to our website, koamnewsnow.com. Chloe Arroyo joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Yes, we've all been sniffling the past couple of days, and grass, hickory, and mulberry are to blame. We've had lots of pollen in the past couple of days and will continue as we head into the weekend. These warm temperatures are accompanying that. Now we've cooled down here just a hair into the upper 60s, even into the mid 60s for some people. Carthage at 63, Grove at 67, as well as Miami, you're at 68 degrees right now. So very comfortable. So if you want to be outdoors right now, still definitely a comfortable possibility. Now coming up here in just a bit, we're going to talk about the beautiful weekend that we have ahead, as well as the isolated showers that we have throughout the rest of the week. And then those warm temperatures, I'll have the full details on how long those will last. Back to you, Dow.
See you soon. Hey, Memorial Day weekend means some area pools are opening. The Pittsburgh Aquatic Center opened to the public today. The center is open from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., 7 days a week. It's going to operate until August 6th. So folks today took advantage of today's beautiful weather to head out to Katy Days in Parsons, Kansas. Kicked off with a parade and also had some Disney princesses in attendance. You see some there. The annual event honors the history of the town with activities for the whole family to enjoy. Those activities include such things as food vendors, a beer garden, a special appearance from some superheroes. One little event goer got to meet some of those princesses.
Awesome. I love you. Well, I skipped dinner. Well, I had lunch, but no food, but I'm gonna get some food, okay?
Yeah, work up an appetite visiting with princesses. The festivities continue tomorrow with inflatables for children, train rides, craft fair, and a lot more. And in Woodson County, Kansas, Yates Cinder Days is underway. That event used to take place in and around the historic square and surrounding buildings. Now it's limited to the old county jail and sometimes the courthouse. It's not just the venue that's different, but also the time of year. The festival used to take place earlier in May, but the weather over the years has pushed the event later. It features live music, inflatables, kids' games, a parade, shopping, and food vendors. It's going to run through Monday. T&D Donkey Rescue, a donkey rescue shelter in Liberal, Missouri, organized an event titled Family Autism Day at the Rescue to promote awareness about autism and also about donkeys. Donkeys and horses were available for everyone to brush, hug, pet, and even give kisses if they chose. Guests enjoyed various activities such as face painting, games, coloring. The event aims to foster understanding and appreciation for autism, as well as raise awareness for the vital role that donkeys play in therapy and support.
We give free tours that are for education, and you know, we get people in here that don't think donkeys are very smart, or they just think they're just, you know, not a good animal. Well, they come out here because their wife drags them along or whatever, and you know what? We have not met one person yet that says, I still don't like donkeys.
30 to 50 people attended that event, plus the donkeys. Coming up, how a northeast Oklahoma town is getting folks together for Memorial Day weekend, plus
honoring the hundreds of thousands who made the ultimate sacrifice. I'm Natalie Brand in Washington with a special Memorial Day exhibit paying tribute.
Whole lot of Memorial Day celebrations are already underway across the 4 states, and one in particular is Memorial Weekend Mayhem in Jay, Oklahoma at Mid-America Outdoors. Features all kinds of events. There's drag racing, parks and trails open for riding. Earlier tonight, there was a night ride poker run, which included a contest for the most patriotic lights and most patriotic campgrounds. There's also a live concert with Johnny Dale Roberts performing, and last but not least, a whole lot of racing.
Come to one of our race weekends because you don't have to be a race fan to come here and enjoy. We also have a pool, we have a lazy river. They rent UTVs here too, so you can actually go and just do trail riding if you want to just hang out. So it's an off-road destination, an outdoor destination, and like a resort here.
Tomorrow there's going to be heat races, pro UTV survival races, and pro rock racing and UTV hill climbs. Sunday we'll have the main races with awards and a mega truck series race, and it continues into Monday. Goes from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Ahead of Memorial Day, a special exhibit has returned to the National Mall in Washington, D.C. to honor the hundreds of thousands of American service members killed in combat since the First World War. As Natalie Brand reports, visitors to the exhibit are stopping to reflect on the meaning of the holiday.
They can't be here, so I want to do everything I can do to try to be here for them.
This wall shows the size of sacrifice, more than 645,000 poppies, symbolizing the U.S. lives lost in service since World War I.
It's a very somber moment for me. You know, I've placed about 57 coins on caskets that are draped with the American flag. It's very special for me.
Air Force veteran Joe Sluder, now a military affairs representative for the USAA Poppy Wall of Honor, says this year's exhibit also marks 50 years since the U.S. exit from Vietnam, where his father served 2 tours.
I would have loved to be able to walk him through, you know, hand in hand and take him through each of the sections.
Those who can't visit the wall in person can still post a tribute honoring a loved one online using the hashtag #PoppyInMemory, and it will be shared here.
Seeing this wall, you see the numbers put with the different wards and things like that, and it's hard to comprehend.
Visitors say they're struck by how many Americans have died serving.
It's really impressive to see all the history that's out here and think of all the things that they've been done for us.
We have so many that have paid the ultimate sacrifice so that we can be free and practice and live in a free world, democratic world. Just don't forget.
Command Chief Master Sergeant Sluder says it's something to remember not just on Memorial Day, but every day. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
The Poppy Wall of Honor will be in Washington, D.C. through the weekend at the base of the Lincoln Memorial. There are also 2 smaller exhibits at the USS Lexington Museum in Corpus Christi and the Military Aviation Museum in Virginia Beach. A little bit later, an incident on an overseas plane leaves passengers fearing for their lives.
It's going to be a beautiful weekend, but how long will that last? I'll have the details coming up next. Well, you know, it seems to be the first week to kick off those consistent temperatures in the 80s, and I'm happy to report that in our near future, it looks like that'll continue to increase. Let's take a look at our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just west of Seneca, Missouri. Feeling very calm outside. Temperatures have begun to enter into that mild range. Not a cloud in the sky, so if you're wanting to go outside, there's definitely still time to do so. To be out and about this evening, temperatures in the mid to lower 60s as you head a little further northeast, but Anderson's still hanging around holding on to that 70-degree mark. Joplin at 64. Pittsburgh, you're at 65 degrees right now. Very calm winds with this, so feeling very mild outside as it stands, but we'll warm up pretty quickly heading into tomorrow. 78 for your high on Saturday and 80 following on Sunday. We'll have a couple more clouds here and there on Sunday than we do Saturday, but above all, beautiful days both days of the weekend. Get those outdoor plans in action as you head into Saturday and Sunday. Now, this does come with a cost. However, we see those drier conditions, and I mean, off to our east, you guys don't have this much of an issue. Over by Monette, you guys are pretty much in the clear, as well as Bentonville and even Grove. But as you head a little further west, Wichita, Independence, Chanute, even down in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, you guys want to make sure that you're a little more cognizant of those drier conditions, especially if you're out and about grilling or any type of activity related to that. Just be mindful of that. And unfortunately, we don't have much in the way of rainfall this weekend, but next week will be a different story. We'll have some chances for rain periodically throughout the week, but this is about the amount of rain that we're expecting to see up until Monday evening. So let's take a recap of this weekend. Our temperatures as we head into early Saturday morning, our lows are going to be in the mid to upper 50s. Then we'll warm right up into the upper 70s. Saturday evening, if you want to have that evening outside, we'll be in the 60s. We'll cool down once again into the upper 50s. Sunday morning, this is where we're going to see a couple more clouds enter into the picture. See warmer temperatures, but those clouds acting as a blanket on those warm conditions. So warming us up even more up into above the 80s. Grove, 83 degrees before we see even warmer temperatures heading into Monday. That's where we're going to see us ramp up even more into those 80-degree temperatures. So tonight we'll dip down into the 50s, 55 when you wake up in the morning, but our low only getting down to 52. But by the time you wake up in the morning and roll around just a bit, around 10 a.m., we at 70 degrees. So we'll warm up pretty fast heading into the morning. That'll continue to trend as we head in through the week. But keep in mind, we have slight chances for isolated, very, very isolated showers Monday through Sunday. So pretty much every day, but it also is pretty hit or miss and not a substantial amount of rain to mess up any outdoor plans.
Yeah, that's good. Certainly in the short term, a lot of people would love to see some of that rain eventually.
Exactly, yes.
Thanks, Chloe. House Republican and White House negotiators are closing in on a deal to avoid a government default, it seems. Sources tell CBS News both sides are making progress on a deal to raise the borrowing limit and cap federal spending levels for the next 2 years. Late this afternoon, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen revised the default deadline, saying the country could start defaulting on its bills on June 5th instead of June 1st. Look at this. Drama in the skies overseas after a passenger opened an exit door on a plane in flight. Video shows wild winds tearing through the cabin of the South Korean jetliner as passengers held on for dear life. The incident occurred as it was nearing its destination at an altitude of 700 feet. It landed safely, and the unidentified person was detained by airport police. 12 people were taken to hospitals with minor injuries. Still ahead, the Columbus Titans are playing for a state championship once again. We're going to take a look at the highlights from today's action.
Well, the Chanute Blue Comets and the Fort Scott Tigers meet once again. This time the two teams square off in the Class 4A state semifinals. The winner of this one moves on to the state championship game. The stakes are high in this one, and we have a shocker. Maybe not. This is why they play the game, folks. The Chanute Blue Comets, who come into the Class 4A state playoffs as the number 8 seed, lowest seed in the tournament, by the way, knocking off the number 4 seeded Fort Scott Tigers 1-0. So that means Chanute will move on for a chance to play in the 4A state championship game for the first time in program history. But first things first, after Fort Scott's loss, the Chanute Blue Comets to the Tigers, they turn around and Fort Scott plays in the 3rd place game in the Class 4A state tournament. The Tigers were down 9-6 in this one, the final inning of the game, but the Fort Scott Tigers rally back and tie this game as they go into extra innings, and eventually they get the job done and they win the game 10-9 over the Paola Panthers, and it was a walk-off off of a balk. Pretty unusual. Fort Scott finishes in 3rd place in the Kansas 4A state tournament. So now on to the 4A state championship game. Chanute versus McPherson. First frame there, Jarrett Myers on the bump, gets 3 strikeouts to open up things up. So bottom of the inning now, Comets Parker Manley settling in as well, gets a strikeout of his own there. And now as we see the runs start coming in, squeeze bunt there by Dawson Field, textbook safety squeeze, perfect bunt, scores the first one. Then the Bullpups get things going, Tegan Haynes ropes one to left field, the runners are flying around the bases, 2 runs score in that one, that makes it 4-0 McPherson, and just like that, look at this play right here, Jaden Gum in center field, lays out to make the catch, full extension on the dive. McPherson beats Chanute 6-0. The McPherson Bullpups win back-to-back state championships as Chanute finishes as runner-ups. Well, the Columbus Titans are back in the state 3A baseball championship tournament. The Titans came up short in last year's state title game, and they look to get the job done this year. Starting things off in the semifinals, the Titans meet up with Santa Fe Trail. First inning, Cole Ungehauer fights this one off to right field and comes down for a base hit. Landon Midget comes in to score. Titans go up by 3 runs in the first. So to the 3rd now, up 4-0. Hayden Cox pulls this one down the line, stays fair, just out of reach. Midget scores easily. Cox cruises in there for the double. Next batter, Jack Valila at the plate. He delivers a base hit to left. Add another. Columbus jumps out to a 6-run lead after 3. Same score after the 5th. Seth Stover at the plate with the bases loaded. He finds the gap into left field. Now will come down for a hit. Baseball is going around all of the outfielders there. Seth Stover turns on the Jets all the way around for an inside the park walk-off grand slam. Columbus ends this one early, beating the Chargers 10-0 in 5 innings. So here we go for the 3A state championship game. 2nd year in a row between these 2 teams. Titans already up 1-0 in the 3rd. With 2 on, Cole Ungehauer hammers this one high and deep to left field, and see you later. His teammates know it, goes into the bullpen for a 3-run jack. Columbus takes a 4-0 lead after 3. In the 5th, Jack Valila is cruising on the mound, gets the strikeout there. He held Collegiate hitless until the 6th. So in the 6th, Spartans get things going. Base hit right there, scores a run for Collegiate. They cut the deficit in half, 4-2 ball game going to the 7th. Then the top of the 7th, base is loaded by senior Brady Hunt, and he belts this deep to left field over the wall for a grand slam. And just like that, Collegiate takes their first lead of the game up 6-4. The bottom of the 7th now, last chance for the Titans, strike 3 ball game. Wichita Collegiate beats the Columbus Titans 6-4 in a heartbreaker. 2nd year in a row, the Titans fall short to the Spartans. Well, the Humboldt Cubs lost to Wichita Collegiate earlier in the day in the semifinals, but the Cubs turned things right back around as they played for 3rd place against Santa Fe Trail. Humboldt goes down fighting, but they lose this game 9-1. However, the Cubs do finish in 4th place in the state. Well, the Colgan Panthers baseball team is in Great Bend this week as they are the number 8 seed in the Kansas 2A baseball tournament. The Panthers come into the tournament as the lowest seed, and yesterday the Panthers knocked off the number 1 overall seed, Little River, and today they look to compete in the state championship. Starting things off in the state semifinals, Colgan has to win in order to get there, and they do just that, taking care of business. The Panthers shut down Onaga, beating the Buffaloes 10-0, so Colgan has knocked out the number 1 seed and the number 4 seed in the tournament. So the Panthers are moving on to the state championship game, going up against the Marion Warriors. And don't worry, we do have a winner tonight. The Panthers once again win the state title, defeating Marion 13-3 in 6 innings. Colgan beats the number 1, number 4, and number 3 team in the tournament to win the Kansas 2A state championship. Wow. So congratulations to the Colgan Panthers.
Yeah, a lot of teams have a lot of reason to be proud. I know that when they fall just a little bit short of the ultimate prize, it can be difficult.
Well, still terrific seasons for Columbus and for Chanute.
Very good. A special birthday celebration for a Carthage woman up next. Hey, what better way to ring in this Memorial Day weekend than with a party? Today we say happy birthday to a Carthage woman. It's not just any birthday for Mary Louise Barton. It's her 100th birthday. Mary was a pillar in the community in real estate. She celebrated her big day at Arbor's Dining Room at St. Luke's Nursing Center. She comes to all the activities and has a whole lot of friends there. And officials say she has a lot of love for everyone. And we certainly join all of those many people in wishing her a very happy birthday. Good for her. What a lot of things she would have seen in 100 years.
Happy birthday.
Beautiful weekend for Mary and all the rest of us.
Stunning weekend, actually. We'll see temperatures warming up into the 80s by the time we get to Sunday. But put that rain on your calendar. Won't be very much by any means, but still a little bit.
Final sports note.
Congrats to a great season for Chanute and Columbus. I know they finished just short this year, finishing as state runner-ups. But again, congrats to St. Mary's Colgan for winning the state title and Kansas 2A. But if you weren't tired of baseball, well, we got plenty more this weekend in the Missouri side.
Never get tired. Thanks for joining us. Let's make it a great Memorial Day weekend.